Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe.
Sattvam na chedat taridam nijam bhavet Vijnanam ajnana vidap marjanam Guna prakashair numiyate bhavan Prakashate yasya cha yena va gunaha. O Lord, cause of all causes, if your transcendental body were not beyond the modes of material nature, one could not understand the difference between matter and transcendence. Only by your presence can one understand the transcendental nature of your Lordship, who are the controller of material nature. Your transcendental nature is very difficult to understand unless one is influenced by the presence of your transcendental form. Purport, it is said, Tragunya Visya Veda Nistragunyo Bhavarjuna. Unless one is situated in transcendence, one cannot understand the transcendental nature of the Lord. As is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Athapi te deva padambuja dvaya prasada lisangrita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimamna no chanyo eko pichiram bichinam. Only by the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead can one understand Him. Those who are in the modes of material nature, although are speculating for thousands of years, cannot understand Him. The Lord has innumerable forms. Ramadi Murti Shukla Niyamena Tisthan. Ramadi Murti Shukla Niyamena Tisthan. Lord has innumerable forms. And unless these forms, such as Lord Ramchandra, Shivadev, Krishna and Balram, were transcendental, how could they be worshipped by devotees since time immemorial? Means, Bhaktya Mam Abhijananti Yavan Yasya Chasmi Tattvataha. Devotees who awaken their transcendental nature in the presence of Lord and who follow the rules and regulation of devotional service can understand Lord Krishna, Lord Ramchandra, and other incarnations who are not of this material world, but who come from the spiritual world for the benefit of people in general. If one does not take to this process, one imagines or manufactures some form of God according to material qualities and can never awaken a real understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words Bhaktya Mam Abhijananti Yavan Yaschasmi Tattvata. These words signify that unless one worships the Lord according to the regulative devotional principles, one cannot awaken the transcendental nature. Deity worship, even in the absence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, awakens the transcendental nature of the devotee, who thus becomes increasingly attached to the Lord's lotus feet. The appearance of Krishna is the answer to all imaginative iconography of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone imagines the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to his mode of material nature. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said, the Lord is the oldest person. Therefore, a section of religionists imagine that God must be very old and therefore they depict a form of the Lord like a very old man. But in the same Brahma Samhita, that is contradicted. Although he is the oldest of all living entities, he has his eternal form as a fresh youth. The exact words used in this connection in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Are Vijanam Ajnana Bhidapa Marjanam. Vijana means transcendental knowledge. Vijnana. The word is Vijnana means transcendental knowledge of Supreme Personality. Vijnana is also experienced knowledge. Transcendental knowledge has to be accepted by the descending process of disciplic succession as Brahma presents the knowledge of Krishna in the Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita is Vijnana as realized by Brahma's transcendental experience. And in that way, he presented the form and the pastimes of Krishna in the transcendental abode. Ajnana Bhida means that which can match all kinds of speculations. In ignorance, people are imagining the form of the Lord. Sometimes he has no form and sometimes he has form, according to their different imaginations. But the presentation of Krishna in the Brahma Samhita is Vijnana, scientific, experienced knowledge given by Lord Brahma and accepted by Lord Chaitanya. There is no doubt about it. Sri Krishna's form, Sri Krishna's flute, Krishna's color, everything is reality. Here it is said that this Vijnanam is always defeating all kinds of speculative knowledge. Therefore, the demigods prayed, without your appearing as Krishna, as you are, neither Jnana Vida, the nescience of speculative knowledge, nor Vijnanam would be realized. Ajana Bhidapa Marjanam, by your appearance, the speculative knowledge of ignorance will be vanquished and the real experienced knowledge of authorities like Lord Brahma will be established. Men influenced by the three modes of material nature. Men influenced by the three modes of material nature imagine their own God according to the modes of material nature. In this way, God is presented in various ways, but your appearance will establish what the real form of God is. The highest blunder committed by the impersonalist is to think that when the incarnation of God comes, he accepts a form of matter in the mode of goodness. Actually, the form of Krishna or Narayana is transcendental to any material idea. Even the greatest impersonalist, Shankaracharya, has admitted Narayana Paro Vyaktat. The material creation is caused by the Avyakta, the impersonal manifestation of matter or the non-phenomenal total reservoir of matter. And Krishna is transcendental to that material conception. This is expressed in the Srimad Bhagavatam as Shuddha Sattva or transcendental. The Lord doesn't belong to the material mode of goodness. The Lord does not belong to the material mode of goodness, or he is above the position of material goodness. He belongs to the transcendental, eternal status of bliss and knowledge. Dear Lord, the demigods prayed. When you appear in your different incarnation, you take different names and forms according to different situations. Lord Krishna is your name because you are all attractive. You are called Shyam Sundara because of your transcendental beauty. Shyama means blackish, yet they say that you are more beautiful than thousands of cupids. Sundarpa Koti Kamaniya. Although you appear in a color which is compared to that of a blackish cloud, you are the transcendental absolute. And therefore, your beauty is many, many times more attractive than the delicate body of Cupid. Sometimes you are called Giridhari because you lifted the hill known as Govardhana. You are sometimes called Nanda Nandana or Vasudeva or Devaki Nandana because you appear as the son of Maharaj Nanda or Devaki or Vasudeva. Impersonalists think that your many names or forms are according to a particular type of work and quality because they accept you from the position of a material observer. One time Kesava Baba saying that the name, thousands names are there, but these all names given by devotee, not that Krishna kept himself. All name, whatever. Kanaya is the name given by Mother Yashoda. Kanaya, Kana, Lala. She is calling like this. She is devotee and she is calling. So all name given by devotees. So here it's not compatible that someone gave him name as per Kesava Baba said to me. Our dear Lord, the way of understanding is not to study your absolute nature. The way of understanding is not to study your absolute nature, form, and activities by mental speculation. One must engage himself in devotional service. Then one can understand your absolute nature and your transcendental form, name, and quality. Actually, only a person who has a little taste for the service of your lotus feet can understand your transcendental nature, form, and quality. Others may go on speculating for millions of years, but it is not possible for them to understand even a single part of your actual position. In other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, cannot be understood by the non-devotees because there is a curtain of Yoga Maya which covers Krishna's actual features. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Naham Prakash Sarvasya, the Lord says, I am not exposed to anyone and everyone. When Krishna came, he was actually present on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and everyone saw him. But not everyone could understand that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Still, everyone who died in his presence attained complete liberation from material bondage and was transferred to the spiritual world. Still, everyone who died in his presence attained complete liberation from material bondage and was transferred to the spiritual world. Because foolish mudhas do not awaken their spiritual nature, they do not understand Krishna and Rama. Abhijanati mam mudha marshmim tanum asritam. Even big academic scholars, not considering the endeavors of the acharyas who have recommended devotional service in many elaborate commentaries and notes think that Krishna is fictitious. This is due to a lack of transcendental knowledge and failure to awaken Krishna consciousness. One should have the common sense to ask why. If Krishna or Rama were fictitious, stalwart scholars like Sridhara Swami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Veera Raghava, Vijayadhwaja, Vallabhacharya, and many other recognized acharyas would have spent so much time to write about Krishna in notes and commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 36. Nanama rupe gurma janma karma bhir nirupitabhya tab tasya sakshana mano vachobhya manu meya vartmano deva kriyayam prati yantadabhi. O Lord, your transcendental name and form are not ascertained by those who merely speculate on the path of imagination. Your name, form, and attributes can be ascertained only through devotional service. Purport, as stated in the Padma Purana. Atah Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet griham indriya chevano mukhe hi jivado swam iva spurtayata. One cannot understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, quality, and pastime of Sri Krishna through one's masterically contaminated senses. Sri Krishna through one's materially contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service to the Lord are the transcendental name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Lord's revealed to him. Since Krishna and his transcendental name, form, and activities are all of a transcendental nature, ordinary persons or those who are only slightly advanced cannot understand them. Even big scholars who are non-devotees think that Krishna is fictitious. Yet, although so-called scholars and commentators do not believe that Krishna was factually a historical person whose presence on the battlefield of Kurukshetra is recorded in the history of Mahabharata, they feel compelled to write commentaries on a Bhagavad Gita and other historical records. Sevanu mukhe hi jihvadau swam eva spurtaye ada. Krishna transcendental name, form, attributes, and activities can be revealed only when one engages in his service in full consciousness. In full consciousness. In full consciousness. This confirms Krishna's own words in Bhagavad Gita. Bhaktya mam abhijananti. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Yavan yaschasmi tattva. Tato mam tattvato janatva. Visate tad anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God only by Sevan Mukho, by engaging oneself in the Lord's service. One can realize the name, form, and qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. O Lord, the demigod says, the impersonalists who are non-devotees cannot understand that your name is identical with your form. Since the Lord is absolute, there is no difference between his name and his actual form. In the material world, there is a difference between form and name. The mango fruit is different from the name of the mango. The name mango and the fruit. The taste of this fruit is totally different from the name mango. Taste didn't come. In the material world, there is a difference between form and name. The mango fruit is different from the name of the mango. One cannot taste the mango fruit simply by chanting mango, 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 mango. But the devotee who knows that there is no difference between the name and the form of the Lord's chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and realize that he is always in Krishna's company. For persons who are not very advanced in absolute knowledge of the Supreme, Lord Krishna exhibits his transcendental pastimes. They can simply think of the pastime of the Lord and get the full benefit. Since there is no difference between the transcendental name and form of the Lord, there is no difference between the transcendental pastimes and the form of the Lord. For those who are less intelligent, like women laborers, okay. The great sage Vyasadeva wrote Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata, Krishna is present in his different activities. Mahabharata is history, and simply by studying, hearing, and memorizing the transcendental activities of Krishna, the less intelligent can also gradually rise to the standard of pure devotees. Pure devotees who are always absorbed in the thought of the transcendental lotus feet of Sri Krishna, and who are always engaged in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness, are never to be considered to be in the material world. Sri Rupa Goswami has explained that those who are always engaged in Krishna consciousness by body, mind, and activities are to be considered liberated even within this body. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Those who are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord have already transcended the material position. Krishna appears in order to give a chance to both the devotees and the non-devotees for realization of the ultimate goal of life. The devotees set the direct chain to see him and worship him. Those who are not on that platform get the chance to become acquainted with his activities and thus become elevated to the same position. The Brahma Samhita says, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridaya Suvilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Guna Surupam Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Although Krishna's transcendental form is presented as black, devotees who are in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead appreciate the Lord as Shyam Sundara, having a very beautiful blackish form. The Lord's form is so beautiful that the Brahma Samhita also states, Venam Kwanantam Arvinda Dolayata Kasanam Venam Kwanantam Arvinda Dolayataksham Barahavatam Sam Asitam Buddha Sundarangam Amdarpakoti Kaminya Vishesha Sobham Govindam Madhipurusham Tamham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who plays on his transcendental flute. His eyes are like lotus flowers. He is decorated with peacock plumes, and his bodily color resembles the color of a fresh black cloud, although his bodily features are more beautiful than millions of cupids. But this beauty of the Supreme Lord's can be seen by devotees who are in love with him. Devotees whose eyes are anointed with the love of Godhead, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. The Lord is known as Giridhari or Girivardhari because Krishna, for the sake of his devotees, lifted Govardhana hill. The devotees appreciate the Lord's inconceivable strength, but non-devotees, in spite of directly perceiving the Lord's unconceivable strength and power, regard the Lord's activities as fictitious. This is the difference between a devotee and non-devotee. Non-devotees cannot give any nomenclature for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yet the Lord is known as Shyama Sundara and Giridhari. Similarly, the Lord is known as Devaki Nandana and Yashoda Nandana because he accepted the role of son for Mother Devaki and Mother Yashoda. And he is known as Gopala because he enjoyed the sport of maintaining the cows and calves. Therefore, although he has no mundane name, he is addressed by devotees as Devaki Nandana, Yashoda Nandana, Gopala, and Shyam Sundaras. These are all transcendental names that only devotees can appreciate and non-devotees cannot. The history of Krishna, the person has been openly seen by everyone, yet only those who are in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead can appreciate this history. Whereas non-devotees who have not developed their loving qualities think that the activities, form, and attributes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are fictitious. Therefore, this verse explains Na nama rupe gune janma karma vir nirupitibhye tava tasya shakshina. In this connection, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur has given the example that persons suffering from jaundice cannot taste the sweetness of sugar candy, although everyone knows that sugar candy is sweet. Similarly, because of the material disease, non-devotees cannot understand the transcendental name, form, attributes, and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although they actually see the Lord's activities either through authority or through history. The Puranas are old, authentic histories, but non-devotees cannot understand them, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the essence of Vedic knowledge. Non-devotees cannot understand even the preliminary study of transcendental knowledge, Bhagavad Gita. They simply speculate and present commentaries with absurd distortions. In conclusion, unless one elevates himself to the transcendental platform by practicing Bhakti Yoga, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his name, form, attributes, or activities. But if by chance, by the association of devotees, one can actually understand the Lord's and his features, one immediately becomes a liberated person. As the Lord says in Bhagavatam, in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam ya vetti tattvata tektva deham punarjanma naiti mam iti so Arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities doesn't, my appearance and activities doesn't, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Srila Rupa Goswami has therefore said that by affection and love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, devotees can express their mind to him with their words. Others, however, cannot do this as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvatah. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Oh, Ramani ji, I think we have some minutes are left. If somebody wants to say something, they can say. I can also get a chance to understand something. Andakaji.
Well, yeah. I was reading this book long time ago.
Yeah.
And now I understand why. Now I understand why. Because, yeah, Radha is attainable in due course of time. So there is a way to attain Radha, to attain Swarupa. From the beginning, from this, like Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada said, every one of innumerable souls already has eternal relationship with the Lord.
Yeah.
So it seems like a path of revelation. After some time, maybe when we finally when our Swarupa is finally revealed to us, then we can, go more. We just, our heart that feels very happy to be one-pointed. Our one point is we are helpers of the maid servant.
Actually, for Vaishnava, there is no any other second point. Which second point can be?
No, it's not. There is no contradiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we are in this tradition, on this path, in this parampara, this is very clear. But for us, there is no chance to deviate ourselves because we don't have anything else. If we want to quit and go somewhere, for what we will try and what we will get. It's an arrangement he made already for us. Everything favorable. When it's just favorable, we have to just break this bondage of this laziness. Only one thing is there. This is our Shatru.
Enemy.
Yeah. The biggest Shastru is this that make us to sit laziness. Prabhu samskara is there. Previous samskara's power is there. But with our iksha, eagerness and desire, when he see, then he gives the extra power also. Though he has given already. But sometimes you see that coming this and not going out, this is very, very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Keshav Baba said that the Shrestha karma, highest topmost karma is this. By doing this, you achieve everything. By doing this, the thing comes to you. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Purana, Shastras, Veda comes to you. But this fixing, Fevikwik, or the Fevicol, or you say that's electric white welding. With this, I can leave everything, but this is not possible. My one hand is free. My tongue is not free. My one hand is free. This disease should come. This disease is very rare. I want this disease.
this condition.
Yeah, this Parkinson, a particular Parkinson I want. For this it should be here inside. Others are doing it. Why I cannot? I'm not fixing. This practice 24/7 is very necessary. Radha Mohan Baba was eating with her left hand.
Wow.
Breaking the left hand eating rules. Because highest, topmost, talking with you, what he says. Is not there. This happened because of this. And he and Vinod Baba sitting together. Radha Mohan Das Baba body is doing like Radha Mohan Das Baba body is sitting. When they are sitting together, when he's talking with Vinod Baba, Radha Mohan Das Baba eyes become from small to big.
Wow.
Like this. And body is doing like this. 1000 voltage current. Ahlad. With God. Looking to the devotee. Sitting near. And the one plus powerful. 1000 volt together. Automatic the crank pass and then this happens.
My God. Radhe.
This situation. Without this I also see that bhajan is bhajan.
Bhajan is bhajan.
Bhajan is bhajan and the only bhajan is the only thing.
I'm so glad that you witnessed this. That you saw this.
Huh?
I'm very glad that you saw this and that that Radha inspired you to share this with us. It's so
I also
encouraging.
I saw in this video that how he's doing. One video is there. Maybe some big bhandara is going in a Sant colony and he was present there. And that time, comparatively, if you will see the material things that if you want to achieve something, there is no shortcut. The same in the spiritual also. You have to do. Conditions are there, you have to do. The main condition. In material, for material things, you have to do. In spiritual, for spiritual, you have to do.
So last time we went with Moni Baba. Moni Baba is
Moni Baba's temple. Yeah.
And Moni Baba is a very famous doctor. His aim is always become number one in material world. And after he met Keshava Baba, brother said, he also want to become number one in spiritual world. Then he became it. I remember. Same. But just a direction.
With a small little, you will get that much, then you no need to cry. Little you are doing and expecting you lot. Not possible. Then you cry. Radharani watching, what you doing? Radharani watching what you doing for my Krishna. She is not watching that what you doing for me. She is watching that what you doing for my Krishna. Chanting his name very precisely, anything. Radharani is not doing that what doing for me. Radharani is doing what they are doing for my Krishna, whom I love a lot. I gave a chance to come here. Okay, everything is positive. What you doing now? Not doing that, not possible. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Go